down here in London, and they was trying, well, they was trying, you know, for moonshining. And this, the judge, and back in those days, he was well known, and there's Judge Cochran. And he was, you know, an old fellow, and he wore, the way they described him to me, he wore a goatee. But he really enforced the law. He was a hard down again moonshining. And they always told it down in London they was trying, they called cases, and they called this man's name, you know, Joshua Brown. Here, Your Honor. And so Joshua went around from the court, and the judge said, "Are you the Joshua that demanded the sun to stand still?" He said, "No, sir, Your Honor. I'm the Joshua that made the moonshine."
If you want to make you 7 or 8 gallons of moonshine, you get you about 2 60-gallon barrels. And you get you 4 25-pound sacks of meal. And you get you 100 pounds of sugar. And you sprout your own malt. That's corn, you know, that starts at the work, and you sprout it and dry it. Or either you can buy it, but we always sprout it, put it in a big sawdust hole, or pour hot water on it, and in 2 or 3 days, if it's in the wintertime, the sprouts would be that long.
When the early settlers came over, they brought those, not the ingredients, but they brought the formula with them. The government used to have people to make whiskey. Some of the places in the county, one place still called Steel Branch. It's called Steel Branch. And they had a big steel in there. Well, the government agent would come and check your barrels and everything, see how much mash you had on and how much you had done and all this. And he kept a record of every bit of your moonshine that you made. And, well, they was making that moonshine for the Army, is what they were doing. You know, your Navy and your Army, they used to have so much of grog every morning, you know. They called it grog in the Navy. I don't know what they called it in the Army. And they had a barrel, and when it come issue time, everybody gather around, you get your ration of rum. And that's one reason that people got to learn how, they was taught how to make moonshine.
They tell me right here in Blackie at one time that every family here was one way or other connected with moonshine except 2 people. And they furnished the meal and the sugar. They bought the sugar, and they was kind of church people. Now, and whiskey, moonshine whiskey gives an awful lot of people in eastern Kentucky a bad image, a bad name. But there's good people that dealt with moonshine whiskey. And of course it caused a lot of fights. Anytime anybody drinks whiskey, they're going to get in trouble.
We had this cooking this liquor up there, and this sorter blew out, you know, and the steam, and it blew out that mash on us. But we run off enough alcohol, you know, so we diluted that and had enough, you know, to get high. So, you know, we we drank their booze and brewed over our steel blowing up. So we took both the steel out and was going to did resort it, so and fixed it. But then it was early. I mean, you know, in the morning. It was just getting daylight when I came in. And I just lay down in bed, you know, 'cause I didn't, you know, I just lay down across the bed. And my mother, excuse me, my mother, when she got up, you know, see me, had this mash, steel mash, all over my clothes. And she knew what I'd been doing, you know. So after when I got up, she said, "Been making liquor, ain't you, boy?" "No." "Why?" I said, "Boy, what's that on your clothes?" "No." I said, "Oh." I said, you know, I knew she knew. And so she went down. There was a sheriff lived down the road from, his neighbor lived down from us. She goes down there and tells him, you know, that we was making liquor, but she didn't want us, you know, to catch us and bother us, put us in jail. But she wanted him to go down there and tear up the steel in our you know, in our whiskey, our mash.
I slipped half a gallon in jail, me up here at Whitesburg one time. They put me and my dad and my brother in there, and I lived right down here mouth of this holler. The house is gone now. And I was asleep on a couch out on the porch, and they come arrested me. They already had my dad and my brother in jail, and I said, well, I'm going to have to stay for a while. I'll just take me some clothes, and I got me an old flour sack and put some clothes down in the bottom of it. And then I had a half gallon of moonshine, and I put it there and put more clothes on top of it and come out to the car, and I said, you first want to look in this sack? I said, I just got me some clothes in there. And I said, we don't want to look in your sack. And they put me right in jail with it. I stayed drunk for a week and a half. Yes. But now if I'd tried to keep it hid from them, they'd have found it.
If you saw a fella that you hadn't seen in a while, say maybe 6 years or 3 years or even up to 20 years, and you walked up to him and you say, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, he said, I've been in Atlanta, Georgia. He was in the penitentiary in Atlanta, Georgia. And that was a frequent, that Atlanta, Georgia, I've heard that, I'll bet you, 1,000,000 times. And I guess if you're on your way to hell, you'd have to go to Atlanta, Georgia to get there.
This is the first run tank. Like I said, you take the mash affair that's worked off for 4 or 5 days, and you take the top of this off, and you would pour it into this big container here, and you'd light your gas burner again, and it would run through this pipe where it condenses, okay, and it goes into this big barrel that's over here, okay, and this has got water in it. It's kind of real warm yet, but it goes through there, and when it comes out at the bottom, the steam, it cools down. It comes out in this bucket here. When it comes out in this bucket, we'll take it and pour it in this other, what is this called, the second run, okay, and when the whiskey comes out of this, it's real weak, okay, and you run it through the second run to make it drinkable, right, and you get the finished product.
I've met them old sows, them old big sows that big coming down the road, be so drunk that they couldn't stand up where they'd get in that beer, you know, and drink it and get drunk. And they'd be a belching, vomiting, and everything. That's the truth, I was afraid of it.
A good moonshine is straight corn liquor. There's nothing else like it. And it's pure, it's good, and finger licking good.
If it wasn't for liquor, listen, if it wasn't for liquor, and religion, now listen, Now, this is my opinion. Now, my opinion might not be worth much. But listen, if it wasn't for liquor and religion, they wouldn't have enough insane asylums to hold the people. That's right. Just don't fool with moonshine. Don't be making any, then you won't be drinking any. That's not gospel, but it's good doctrine.